Yes, thank you. I extend my gratitude to Brahmatirtha Prabhu and Akandadi Prabhu and Dr. Kunal Muli for conducting this wonderful summer school, for making people aware of possibility of another kind of research that is all embracing and much more holistic. So thank you again. What I've been asked to speak about Indian knowledge system and mental health application at IIT Mandi. And so I will, you see, IITs are, premier institutes in India. They have their own brand in terms of science and technology, and particularly for producing many successful scientists, technocrats, entrepreneurs, including CEOs. So if you look at our IIT Mandi, you can see this is through aerial view. We have multiple campuses, in one space, but because Himalaya is a hilly area, so you can see there is a south campus here, and here is the north campus. These are two big campuses, but then we have other like Gadappa and other campuses are also there. But this is two main campuses. And if you look at the IIT Mandi, we have 9 schools. It's like departments, and we are floating almost like 18 BTech programs in 9, and we have research centers like Center for AI, Robotics, Indian Knowledge System, Mental Health Application, about which I'm going to speak, Center for Quantum Science and Technology, Human-Computer Interaction. So these are some of the interdisciplinary areas. And as for IIT, is a relatively young institute, started 2009. We just celebrated 15th Foundation Day in 2024, February. We have approximately 3,200 students as of now, 200 faculty members, and we have already graduated more than 2,500 students. So let's come to ISMA. Why did we start ISMA? That before I say, you see, ISMA Center, when I joined here, Dr. Kunal Muli, contacted me, and he was one of the very first person to get involved with the center. We did a 3-day workshop in March 2022. I joined in January. Within 2 months, we did a workshop on mental health, because as far as the modern science is concerned, mind is ill understood. As Akandadi Prabhu has made my job very simpler, because he has already given an elaborate explanation about mind-body paradigm. So the Indian knowledge system, if you look at it, is so vast, but the critical area in Indian knowledge system is mind. So theme of this center is to develop a holistic understanding of mind, brain, and consciousness. How do they coexist in any organism? It's not only human, but plants, microbes, bigger organisms like birds, animals. So how these three things, they coexist and operate as a single unit. This is something very, very not only mystical, but also highly unknown entity. as far as scientific communities are concerned. So in this, it's a highly interdisciplinary center. We aim at understanding some of the key, um, you know, uh, uh, concepts. Like when we say consciousness is pervading throughout our body, what are the bioswitches for consciousness? This is a very fundamental question. We have psychology that deals with mind, but we don't have a laws of psychology in the sense, just like we have in physics, chemistry, biology, some laws that can be empirically verifiable. We don't have such laws of psychology. What is cognitive matter? And if you look at, we are also, soon we are going to establish a wellness center. So wellness is very important in the present day because even the celebrities are going through tremendous amount of mental stress, anxiety. So when we say holistic wellness, it includes emotional wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, occupational wellness, social wellness, environmental wellness, intellectual wellness, and so forth. Goes on. So how can we achieve all this? So this is the goal of IICSMA Center. If you look at IICSMA Center, we have 25 faculty members associated. We have some core faculty members we have hired in last 2-3 years. We have 45 plus research scholars. That includes both PhDs and masters. And degrees that we float in IICSMA are PhD in IKS and mental health. We have MTech research in cognitive engineering. We have MS, this is the first time we have floated in music and musopathy. MA in Sanskrit and Hindu studies, it has been already approved by our Senate, but we are going to float next semester. So why did we start this IICSMA? 1 in every 8 individuals worldwide suffers from a mental disorder. This is the WHO 2022 report. Mental health illness, this is 15% of global disease burden. India struggling with mental illness, sorry, there is some mistake. In India, mental health is a taboo. And more mental ill people, they don't receive any care. This is NIMHANS 2016. 5.6 crore Indians suffer from depression, 3.8 crores from anxiety disorder. This is the same NIMHANS data in 2016. Now is almost 10 years. This number will be much more. Mental health is ill understood. Science of mind and consciousness and associated technology is the need of the hour. In fact, Indian government has already red flagged that mental health is taking a pandemic proportion. So why we are not able to address mental health properly? Because we do not know how to make a distinction between syntactic and cognitive matter. If you look at the science, it was developed, it all started with periodic table in the beginning. We have some 120 periodic elements. And in the beginning, it was thought that these elements, from hydrogen to helium, lithium, beryllium, nitrogen, calcium, potassium, all these elements that we know, they combine and they are the basic building block of this universe. That means life is explained without consciousness, without mind. So this even although this was in the original shape in the modern science, but then modern science changed their theory and then said no, only one electron and two quarks, because they saw that every element, whether it is hydrogen, helium, if you electronic spin configuration, if you see, there is an electron and then there is proton and neutron. So basically, from periodic table, they went to one electron and two quarks, and then later the scientists revised their theory and they said even these particles, they come from somewhere. And current understanding is the quantum field. That's what David Tong says. Professor David Tong is a very famous physicist. And so this is where the science is. That means we try to explain whatever all that Akandadi Prabhu just explained to all of you, that my experience, my emotion, my qualia, all these things are just emergence of molecular combination of everything that exists. So, but then if you look at Indian literature, when I say Indian literature, particularly Vedic literature, and that includes Bhagavatam and Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita. So all this literature, if you look at, so they do not talk of the matter the way the modern science presents. Matter, the way material universe has 24 elements. And these 24 elements are cognitive elements. And these elements have memory. Like water has memory. Water is an element. The earth has memory. Fire has memory. So earth, water, air, fire, ether. These are 5 Panchamahabhuta. So it's completely different. Of course, in Indian tradition, those who pursue religion, they read it, but they lack this scientific temperament, and hence all these knowledge that are encrypted in our literature almost remained kind of mythical. They were not deciphered. I think time has come to decipher these ideas and bring them to a state where not only humankind, the entire the world with all its ecosystem. That means the plants, animals, birds, rivers, hills, everybody must get benefit. So that is the main purpose why I myself have taken an interest in this kind of studies. Otherwise, if I'm interested on religion, then they may not have a big role. But they have a big role because we can explain the world much better. We can explain ourselves much better. We can cure mental diseases better. We can help people to develop their creative thinking better. We can make people understand their purpose of life, what they must do so that they lead a happy and productive life. So, because this is a topic that's very tough to explain at one go, but let me tell you, the elements that are there in our literature, particularly Bhagavad Sankhya, they are all cognitive element. They are not syntactic element. And this is a term that I have coined, semantic entanglement. We have heard about quantum entanglement. Recently, some physicists, they got Nobel Prize for quantum entanglement. But I would talk about a semantic entanglement. And what is this semantic entanglement? So if you look at uh, the Bhagavad Sankhya, semantic entanglement is, uh, mind is a form of very subtle energy, subtler than any form of energy that we know. And this mental energy gets entangled with the subtlest form of our senses. Recently, we conducted MBCC, and there one professor from IIT Mumbai, Professor Ram Subramaniam, he was quoting a verse from Sanskrit text where it says that we even cannot perceive the Sukma Indriya. How can we perceive mind and forget consciousness? That means if you look at in the hierarchy, matter, very gross, and same matter in the form of electron, atom, quarks or quantum field, it becomes very subtle, but still they are gross matter. Now we are talking about sensory perception, and this sensory perception has a very subtle state where there is awareness. And that awareness and mental awareness, at some point, they are so qualitatively equal, they get entangled. This is something that we have to understand as far as our literature is concerned. So if you look at the semantic entanglement, again, there is a problem. If somebody has some idea of quantum mechanics, we know this Schrodinger cat paradox, right? Cat is shown as dead and alive, which looks so bizarre. That's because once a quantum state collapses to one of the possibilities, there is no superposition. Whereas mind is a superposition of varieties of things. Mind has unlimited states. But, let's talk about thought, because thought arises in mind, right? We kind of perceive that. And we can talk about mind as mixed state of many entangled thoughts. So when you are in specific thought, other thoughts may not be visible, or you may not be aware of it, but they're there. They don't collapse like quantum collapse occurs. They're there. When you are in a specific situation, you get into another thought and yet another thought. So the kind of the quantum science and semantic science, they would differ, that I as a person, my mental state is that I'm a father, I'm a teacher, I'm a son, I'm peer simultaneously. But when I'm with my peers, I behave as a peer. Doesn't mean my fatherhood, my sonhood, my husbandhood collapses. No. So this is fundamental. I'm just giving you a very gross way to explain what is semantic entanglement. Mind and its percept needs to be described together. Just like in quantum entanglement, we talk about shared existence. Similarly, here we have to talk about shared existence in terms of semantics. That means the two objects, semantic object, they have multiple states and they can be entangled in terms of their semantic state. There is a possibility. This is what, in the last we have conducted MBCC at, I am going to talk about that at the end, but I had talked about what is cognitive matter. So cognitive matter means mind entangled. That is, you have matter here, which we call body, and then mind. And how mind gets entangled with the body, I just explained that at the subtlest, because body consists of senses, sensory perception. According to Bhagavad Sankhya, we don't talk about body in terms of cells. We talk body in terms of sensory senses. Body is simply combination of senses. And there are 5 tanmatras. So the senses at their most subtle form, they get entangled with mind. And then the body attains the state of cognition. Why? Because mind is cognitive. How mind is also matter. But how does it have cognition in it? Because again, mind gets entangled with the pure cognition. That is the conscious unit, atomic conscious unit, and they get entangled. That is mind in its, when I talk about mind here, in parlance with our Bhagavad Sankhya, this mind means it's together ahankara or false ego, intelligence, as well as mind. All three together when I talk about mind. And this mind gets entangled with atomic conscious unit, via media, the supreme conscious unit. And that's how mind attains the state of the atomic conscious unit, which we normally call chitta. The chitta is the entangled state of a pure conscious unit with mind. So this is how
we'll have to end in maybe
yes.
a few more minutes. Yeah. Just
can you again repeat, Kunal?
Yes, we'll have to end the presentation in a couple of minutes so that maybe we can take 1 or 2 questions, if at all.
Okay. So this is so you can see, when we don't talk about mind, we are only talking about matter. But when we talk about mind, then mind body together makes cognitive matter. And when atomic conscious entity is completely gets unentangled from this, then it becomes pure cognition. And yeah, these are all things. So what is semantic neural information? Semantic neural information means your brain, your mind is simultaneously situated in all of these sensory perceptions: sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. And that is a semantic superposition. I'm making something like quantum mechanics kind of things, just to, because we know we have some idea of quantum mechanics. We don't know what is semantic physics. We need to develop that. So what the Indian knowledge system that we have at IIT Mandi, it has many agenda. These are things I talked in MBCC. Mind entangled matter. This is called cognitive matter. In fact, the biggest contribution from us to the science would be if we can develop a science of cognitive matter. Where does mind entangle with the body? Investigation into bioswitches for consciousness in one area of empirical research. MB, when I say MB, M stands for mind, B stands for body. And this entanglement is semantic entanglement. This is not quantum entanglement. We also need to develop theoretical models where we can talk about semantic space, relevant mathematics, and develop model and derive laws of psychology. We also can do study of reincarnation. I think Kunal is doing some study on reincarnation along with Prem Kishore and his team. So we have started one work here on study of sleep and dream, where Lokesh is trying to induce dream in a person by certain protocol. This study also we are doing, and majority, not only in India but outside, they work on ICAS intervention for mental health. Satsanga, yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, organic farming, community service. So everybody is doing. But to me, it appears that the fundamental contribution by IXMA or anybody who is interested in such is, can we develop the science of cognitive matter? So I have no time, but you can see here, we are working, what you are seeing is that suppose you are thinking of an elephant and somebody knocks at the door, then you get out of that elephant picture. But after some time, again, you come back to your state of meditation called elephant. These are mental processes. You can't do this in physical realm. And we are developing some models now. In fact, Jyotishwar, Jyotiranjan, Dr. Jyotiranjan is my postdoc. He just recently published one work on Royal Society of Open Science Journal by developing some theory how the semantic agents, they stay together and they don't break their semantic relationship. And so this I will, similarly, bioswitches of consciousness. So 2 of our PhD students are working on this. I'm very much involved in this project. So you see here, I'll tell you a very interesting thing here. What we are doing is that we are giving anesthesia to the plant. 2 plants we have selected. One is tomato, the other is brinjal, because they grow very fast. And we are looking at non-local behavior at the organelle level. That can be called as bioswitch of consciousness. Non-local means just like mental energy, according to Bhagavad Sankhya, is near the heart, but same energy is pervading throughout the body. This I term as non-local. That means nothing in the body happens locally. There is a something higher that is dictating terms in the body, and hence there is a pattern. And we have just submitted this paper. This work is finished just now. We submitted to sell this work, and I'll just show you some figure. And then we are trying to now go to the pranic channels to understand bioswitches. So just to, this will be my last slide here. What you are seeing here, you take the root, because root of a plant is like a brain. You know, it does everything. It controls everything. The main root. So control means no anesthesia. So you can see here, when you take the cross section of a root and look at under the microscope, you see the nucleus are randomly organized, and along with the nucleus there are various things which are there, like mitochondria, ATP, so many cellular organelles are there. But when you apply this, lidocaine is a local anesthesia, etomidate is general anesthesia, Neurofil is another general anesthesia. You see, everything has been finished. That means there is a process of autophagy by which the mitochondria dies because of anesthesia, the ATP, everything, they are removed from the cell, right, through autophagy process. What is left is only nucleus. And now you take the nucleus, all nucleus have the same structure. You see here, and this, you will see the nucleus inside is almost dark, there is nothing. And you know that in the center of the nucleus there is DNA, and they form this chromatin. There is two varieties of chromatin, and these chromatins, they come at the periphery of the nucleus. And we established, at least from this research, like we have this Stuart Hamrock and his group, they believed that the sitting place of consciousness is microtubule. But now we have result where we saw microtubules are dying because of anesthesia. That means they cannot become the carrier of the consciousness. But at least at the beginning, at this study shows, nucleus alone as of now, according to our study, is the carrier of consciousness. That means even if anesthesia is there, this cell, within the cell, only nucleus carries the consciousness. And its awareness is not there because the conduction of this consciousness to the neural circuitry is blocked. So these are some of the things that I'll also, maybe I will just do this because we are replicating the same thing in the C. elegans. You will see my student, what he has done is that he has taken the egg of the C. elegans. It is the egg is very small because C. elegans, when it becomes bigger, it becomes maximum 1 mm. So you can see that we are able to isolate a single cell, a single egg, and you can see it becomes 2, and then the red circle, and then become 4, and it becomes around at the end 200 some cells. So what it tells us that we can actually do the embryonic evolution, and we can verify. Bhagavad Sankhya says that when organism comes into being, what manifests is the first speech, then mouth, then smell, and at some point of hunger in the form of consciousness, and so many things. We can actually do all these experiments, and also the experiment of bioswitches. So I will skip it. Let me not go to this. So let me end with this, that we conducted Mind Brain Consciousness Conference at IIT Mandi in 14-16 December 2023. We had 8 plenary talks, 20 invited talks, 165 plus paper presentation, both oral and posters. Springer is publishing some of the top papers now. And we have already going to launch MBCC 2025, but this will not be held in December. This will be held in May, because that's a good time for visiting Himachal and exploring the beauty of Himachal. 22 to 24 May 2025. We'll have many plenary talks, invited talks, paper presentation, and Springer proceedings of top 70 papers based on evaluation. So this is, you are most welcome to submit your research work. Those who want to do research at IIT Mandi, you are most welcome to join us, and varieties of programs we have. And I thank again the BIE team that includes Bob Cohen, Akandadidi Prabhu, and Kunal Mule to organize this thing. And I hope all of you are benefit tremendously from this summer school. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Behera. We don't have any time for questions. There are 2 questions on the Q&A box. I will maybe suggest that if possible, you could answer them on the Q&A box itself. But if anyone wants to get involved with these kinds of studies at IIT Mandi, maybe you can just give a 1-sentence advice to them amongst the attendees. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, we have a very systematic procedure So you go to website, click on IXMA, and you will find the courses. We have admission during both December session and then May to July session. So we have 2 times we admit our students, both masters as well as PhD students. In any way, if you want to get involved, we have the chair now. Professor Arnab Havsar is the chair, so you can write to him if you really want me, but you may not get an answer from me because I'm dealing with so many things. But you still can write if something is very important. I may connect you to our right person. That's it.